The night was long. Quite long for a single mother desperately attempting to save her only child.
Put it down!
But things were just about to take a wild turn. Welcome back to Paramount Recapped. I don't have many subscribers, but your single comment is a ray of hope to motivate me. We kick things off with a woman named Mabin and her little girl, Annalie. The two of them don't have a home, barely any food, and zero stability. They're just out here wandering, walking from one place to another with no destination, carrying whatever they can. Mabin is trying her best to keep them alive, but it's a daily struggle. She's got no job, no car, and no one to lean on. Still, she keeps her head up and keeps moving forward, trying to believe that things will eventually get better. Annalie's just a kid, but she's already seen more hardship than most adults. She doesn't even know what a real house or a proper family looks like. She's never met her dad, never had her own bed, just cold floors, random shelters, and nights spent staring at the sky. When they get food, they eat. When they don't, they go hungry. That's just how it is. But Mabin never stops pushing. She walks all day with her daughter, stops at places that seem safe, and sometimes even washes Annalie on the side of the road just to keep her clean. She tells her daughter over and over again, better days are coming. It's that hope that keeps her going. Mabin's got one goal in her head: find Jason, her husband. She's convinced that if they can just get to Mississippi City, where Jason was born, maybe things will turn around. That's the place she believes holds all the answers. She tells Annalie, that's where your daddy is. If we make it there, everything will fall into place. Every day, they keep on moving. Sometimes, to survive, Mabin even steals a few things from stores. She hates doing it, especially with Annalie watching, but hunger doesn't give her much choice. She's not proud, but she's desperate. Eventually, when they're close to Mississippi City, she spends the last few bucks she's got on a dingy motel room. She just wants Annalie to sleep in a real bed for once. No concrete, no sidewalks, just a mattress and a blanket. That night, Mabin counts what little money she has left and realizes they're out. Flat broke. No food, no nothing. The motel stay wiped her out. She knows she has to make money. Somehow, as she stares out the window, she sees a few women standing by some parked trucks, clearly working the streets. One by one, the women are getting into the trucks, doing what they need to do to earn something. Mabin watches and realizes she might not have any other choice. She doesn't want to, but she can't let Annalie go hungry again. So, she heads outside, trying to gather the courage to approach one of the truckers. But weirdly, the place is suddenly empty. No women, no men, nothing. Just silence. She peeks into one of the trucks. It's abandoned too. Out of nowhere, a cop pulls up and starts questioning her. He doesn't even wait for an answer. He assumes the worst. I know why you're here, he says. Come on, let's go. She pleads with him, tells him she has a child, that she's not doing what he thinks she's doing. But he doesn't care. He forces her into the car and drives off. They end up under a bridge in the middle of nowhere. Mabin's terrified. The officer leans in close and says if she wants to go, she has to do what he says. He wants sex. Mabin freezes. If she says no, she could end up in jail, or worse. And if she gets locked up, who's going to take care of Annalie? So, with no way out, she complies. But after it's over, things get even scarier. The officer won't let her get dressed. He pulls out his phone and starts calling someone. Come quick, he says. I've got a girl here we can have some fun with. That's when Mabin realizes he's setting her up, planning to pass her around like she's nothing. She knows if she doesn't act now, she might not survive. As the officer steps away, she slips out of the truck, finds his gun, and grabs it. When he sees her holding it, he flips out. You just made the biggest mistake of your life, he yells. She doesn't wait, she fires. The cop drops right there. Back at the motel, Annalie wakes up alone. She's scared and locked in the room. She starts crying, not knowing where her mom went. Then Mabin bursts in, hugs her tight, and breaks down crying. Meanwhile, we're introduced to another character, Russell. He's just been let out of prison after doing 7 years for a fatal accident. A man died because of him, and that guilt has been eating him alive. Every single day in prison was a reminder of what he did. He's free now, but his mind is still stuck in the past. Russell heads back to Mississippi, to the town where he grew up. As soon as he arrives, 2 men show up. One of them is Larry, the father of the guy who died in the crash. Without saying a word, Larry attacks him, punching him over and over. Russell doesn't fight back. He knows Larry's pain is justified. He just stands there and takes it. Once the beating is over, Russell finally gets to his father's place. That night, he opens up about everything. The accident, the guilt, the nightmares. He hasn't slept peacefully in years. His father, Mitchell, tells him it was a mistake. Yes, a terrible one, but it wasn't done with bad intentions. He advises Russell to spend some time alone, maybe at their old, empty family home. Russell agrees. Before he heads out, Mitchell gives him an old rifle for protection in case he needs it. Russell starts driving, but is overwhelmed by the memories. He pulls over and just breaks down, sobbing. That's when a police car pulls up. The officer's name is Boyd, and it turns out he and Russell were childhood buddies. They catch up briefly. Boyd spots the rifle and asks if it's licensed. Russell admits it isn't. Boyd gives him a warning and lets him go. Back to Mabin. She and Annalie finally make it to Mississippi City. They find a shelter for the homeless and crash there. Mabin asks around for work. The shelter owner points her to a nearby cafe that might need someone to wash dishes. Mabin grabs the chance. On the other end, Larry's still lurking. He's back at Russell's house, waiting. When Russell doesn't come back, Larry snaps and starts trying to break in. At the cafe, Mabin works hard and then returns to the shelter with Annalie. But something feels off. Her belongings seem touched. She panics and checks everything, especially the gun she took from the cop. It's gone. She quietly sneaks into the shelter owner's room and finds the gun there. She grabs it, takes Annalie, and bolts. She knows it's only a matter of time before the cops come for her. She runs until she sees a guy in a car, Russell. She points the gun at him and says, "Drive. Take us far away from here." Russell doesn't resist. He starts driving. Eventually, he pulls over, snatches the gun from her easily, and says, "Look, you don't need to threaten me. If you need help, just be honest." So, Mabin finally opens up. She tells him about her life, the endless struggles, the pain, the loss. She confesses that Jason, her husband, has been dead for years. She never told Annalie the truth. She also tells Russell about the gun and how she ended up killing the cop. Russell listens, shocked but understanding. He knows what it's like to live with regrets and mistakes. Back in town, Larry, now dealing with his own mess, goes to visit his ex-wife and their son. The divorce is final. His family's moved on without him. Larry hasn't been the same since his younger son passed away. That tragedy really messed with his head. He started drinking heavily, acting out, picking fights with everyone, especially at home. His wife couldn't handle it anymore, so she packed up and left. Larry blames it all on Russell. In his mind, Russell is the reason his life spiraled out of control. He holds him responsible for his son's death and everything that fell apart after. Larry tries again and again to convince his ex-wife to come back, to fix their family. But she's not having it. She's done. Meanwhile, somewhere else, Russell shows up at his dad's house. He's not alone, though. He's got Mabin and little Annalie with him. He tells his dad they need a place to crash for a while. Mitchell, being the kind-hearted man he is, says of course they can stay. He even lets them use the house next door. As soon as Annalie walks in and sees a real bed and a proper home setup, her eyes light up. She's never had anything like this. Mabin watches her daughter smile, and it fills her with hope. Russell, seeing the two of them feel safe and happy, feels a strange sense of peace himself. For the first time in a long while, it feels like maybe he's doing something right. Mitchell also starts bonding with them. He takes Annalie out fishing and treats her like she's his own grandkid. Mabin, on the other hand, starts to feel like maybe, just maybe, she's found a real family again. But on the flip side, Larry's still struggling. He tries to go watch his surviving son's game, but his ex-wife stops him at the door. He reeks of booze. Larry ignores her, stumbles toward his son, and begs him to come talk. His son backs away, noticing how wasted his dad is, and says no. That rejection hits Larry hard. He loses it, starts throwing stuff around in a rage. Cops show up and haul him off. The next day, the moment he gets released, Larry goes straight to the cemetery. He sits by his late son's grave, overwhelmed with grief and regret. He's alone now. His wife's gone. His kids won't talk to him. His life is in ruins. Back at Mitchell's place, time passes and Russell and Mabin are getting closer. One evening, Mabin sits down with Russell and finally asks the question that's been on her mind. Why do you always seem so broken? Everyone here treats you well, but you still look like you're carrying a mountain on your shoulders. Russell finally opens up. He tells her the truth he's never fully shared. Years ago, after a messy breakup, he got drunk, too drunk. He got behind the wheel and started driving carelessly. Somewhere on the roadside, there was a car parked without lights. A couple was standing nearby. Russell, in his drunken state, didn't see them. He crashed into the parked car, and the man beside it died on the spot. "I've been carrying that night with me ever since," he says, his voice shaking. Suddenly, Mabin's face changes. She realizes something. That couple was her and Jason, her husband. It was Russell's crash that killed Jason. But instead of getting angry, she sees the pain in Russell's eyes. She understands that he's been living in torment for years, eaten up by guilt. It wasn't done out of cruelty. It was a horrible mistake. She looks at him and says, "I forgive you. Just do one thing for me. Never drink and drive again." Russell breaks down. Tears flow freely. He tells her, "You need to get rid of that gun too. Holding on to it is only going to drag you down. Let go of that past." Mabin nods. Not long after, she tosses the gun into the river. A few days later, Russell's old buddy Boyd shows up. He's a cop. He tells Russell about a case. A police officer was killed, and someone at a local shelter tipped him off. Apparently, a woman and her daughter had shown up at the shelter, and the woman had a gun. He says he's trying to find her. Everyone thinks she's the killer. Boyd looks Russell in the eye and asks, "You were there when she showed up. Know anything about her?" Russell lies. "Never seen anyone like that." Boyd doesn't buy it, but he doesn't push yet. Instead, he starts poking around, trying to sniff out more info. Meanwhile, things are good for Mabin and Annalie. They've settled into a routine, and for once, life feels stable. But that peace doesn't last long. One day, Boyd shows up again, this time unannounced. He sneaks into Mitchell's house, searching for something. He ends up in the house Mabin and Annalie are living in. Mabin hears him and immediately grabs her daughter and hides upstairs. Boyd is about to head up when Mitchell's wife bursts in and confronts him. "You're trespassing. I'll call the cops on you if you don't leave." Boyd backs off, but now he's sure someone's hiding something. He marches back to Russell and confronts him again. "What's really going on here? I'm giving you one last shot to tell me the truth." Russell sticks to the lie. "I don't know anything." As soon as Boyd leaves, Russell rushes to Mabin. "We don't have much time. He's going to figure it out. You need to disappear, start over somewhere else." Mabin nods, but Russell has one more idea. "Leave Annalie with us. It'll be easier for you to travel alone. When it's safe, you can come back for her." Mabin hesitates, but agrees. Meanwhile, Larry's not doing well. He's spiraling even deeper, convinced Russell ruined his life. He sneaks into Russell's home and hides, waiting to strike. Not long after, Russell and Mabin return, ready to leave. But Larry's lurking, weapon in hand, ready to settle the score. In the confusion, he attacks, but accidentally hits Mabin instead. Mabin falls to the ground, bleeding. Russell freaks out and goes after Larry. The two of them get into a violent fight. Larry manages to grab Russell's rifle and points it at him. But just as he's about to shoot, Mitchell bursts in and fires his own weapon. The bullet hits Larry in the shoulder. "You're not going to die," Mitchell tells him. "I'll call for help. Just sit tight." But Larry's lost all control. He stumbles outside, jumps into his car, and drives off like a maniac. A few miles down the road, he crashes and dies. Russell and Mitchell rush Mabin to the hospital. She's in bad shape. As they wait, Boyd arrives. He's figured it out. "I heard someone with a gun was just admitted," he says. Russell replies, "Yeah, but before you do anything, you need to listen to me. Not as a cop, but as a friend." He lays it all out. Mabin killed that officer, but you don't know what he did to her. He wasn't just some cop. He tried to force himself on her. If she hadn't done what she did, she wouldn't be alive. Then Russell does something unexpected. He pulls out a bullet casing. "Arrest me. I was the reason her husband died. Let me take the fall. Don't punish her for surviving." Boyd looks at his friend, torn. He doesn't want to lock up someone who clearly didn't deserve it. So he makes a call. Instead of arresting Russell or Mabin, he takes the bullet casing and places it inside Larry's crash car. Now, officially, Larry is blamed for the cop's murder. Case closed. No one else has to suffer. After that, life slowly returns to normal. Mabin and Annalie stay with Russell's family. They found their home, a real one this time. And Russell? For the first time in years, he's not haunted by his past. He's finally at peace. And just like that, the story comes to an end. So, if you enjoyed this story, hit that like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Catch you in the next one.